everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Alright, so today I'm going to be working on another Deco Mesh wreath. Yes, as I've said before, I wasn't sure if I liked Deco Mesh, but it actually just grew on me and I actually now love it. So I'm going to be doing a wreath with some Deco Mesh, and I'm going to be using a suggested idea from one of you, and I want to give you credit for that. I put on my community page, I was a little stuck on ideas and I asked if Valentine's would be a good idea. I had some responses. I had someone say something for the New Year's, new beginnings, that it's summer where she lives and she would like to see something like that. Unfortunately, I didn't do anything for New Year's and I'm really sorry. I think Christmas just totally burned me off, but I do like the idea of doing something for summer, something spring, something summer, of course. And then that was Kath Larb, by the way, and Mary, I'm assuming Mary Murphy. I see you often, so I know that your name's Mary just by looking at your little picture. I think that someday you change your little icon. I'm probably going to wonder, is that the same Mary? Okay, so yes, she says Valentine's. But she says, I wish it was some different color than red, because she saw, or we all saw too much red during Christmas. And I agree, we do transition from a lot of red during Christmas to more red in Valentine's Day. So I do agree with that. And then there was Jessica Rueda. And I hope I said that correctly. Yes, you can try changing the simple red to white, to red, white, and pink. Or change the simple red and white to pink, fuchsia, purple. I love that. Yellow, gold, etc. Not all the colors on one item, but maybe mix up the colors. And then she says she herself wants to make a door wreath with a yellow Deco Mesh black and white ribbon, maybe checkered ribbon. And then she says a bumblebee. And that, boop, right there, got me. With some hearts. Maybe a wooden sign that says, be my Valentine. What do you think of my idea? Maybe you can make something like this so we can see a video on it. Anything you make will be awesome. Well, thank you very much to Jessica Rueda. I'm giving you credit because I am going to be making, like I said, a bumblebee Valentine's wreath. So let me show you what the supplies are going to be so then we can get to crafting. Alright, so the first item I'm going to be using is a wire wreath form, and I would probably suggest use a round one. I'm using this heart-shaped one because I did purchase this last year and I still have it, and I want to go ahead and use it up. So I just want to make sure I let you know that I want to use a lot of the things that I still have left over, but I do have some brand new items here that I have not used. So the mesh that I bought is from Hobby Lobby, and these were all $5.99 rolls, but I got them at half off because I went when they had ribbons and trims at half off, so I actually got them for $3 each. And these have 10 yards each, and they're 5.5 inch by 10 yards, as you can see, or yeah, it says 10 yards right there. Okay, and this is what the mesh looks like. You can get it from any place that you want to get it from. You can get a 6-inch one instead of this 5.5 inch, or maybe even an 8-inch. There we go. I got some pink. I've got this really pretty green, and of course I got some black because I'm going to be doing a bumblebee, so I need black and the yellow. And then I have some leftover bits of ribbon. This is very little bit of ribbon that I have left over from last week's wreath that I made, so I might use a little bit of that, so I'm going to keep that to the side here. I've got these pretty ribbons that I also got from Hobby Lobby. Again, these were all half off. These were $8 rolls. I got them for $4. As you can see, this is pretty yellow with some white polka dots. I got a white and black chevron. And then I got this little pink checkered, a thinner ribbon, just to kind of mix things up a little bit. Oh, by the way, these were from the Dollar Tree. I don't know if I said that. Okay, so that's from the Dollar Tree. And then I've got an assortment of craft paints right here. I just got some black, some white, yellow, pink, red, and some little bit of a, like a khaki or tan color. Anyway, so from the Dollar Tree, I did get the 7-piece pack of little hearts. They're on a little pick, and I might use those in my wreath. I got this larger heart-shaped sign. It's got like little individual plaques, and they're attached by ribbon in the back. So they're not it's not one whole piece, but several pieces. Now I was looking for something that would be long, where I could put across my wreath and write a little message on there. I couldn't find that, but I did find this heart, and because I was going to pay for $1 for that anyway, I paid $1 for this from the Dollar Tree. So I'm actually going to use this one piece right here. So I'm just going to pull it off. And I'm going to use this one piece here. And this is going to get painted. That's why I needed the acrylic paints. And then I can use these other pieces for some other project. I also bought this particular heart. And I had already purchased this, the same one for the wreath that I did last week, where I had a little heart left over. And I decided that I could use it for another project. So I'm going to go ahead and use it for this. But I am going to need another heart. And I like this one right here. So I'm going to use this one only because of the size. That's why I like it, not because of the decor, because I am going to paint over all of that. And then I'll just save these other ones for a different project. Now, I'm going to be needing some tools, and I'm going to be using chenille stems. Now, in my last wreath, someone made a comment, which is valid, of course. Use chenille stems that match your Deco Mesh. Okay? This is a suggestion. She would have done that. She would have used red chenille for the red mesh, of course. But like I have said, I am using up my supplies. And I have spent a lot of money making a lot of projects for Christmas. And every week I have to spend money to make another project. So I'm going to use whatever I have left over. So that is why I am doing that. So you guys go buy the chenille to match whatever Deco Mesh you're using, because that looks nicer. But I don't really see it in my wreath, so I'm going to go ahead and use what I have. So I'm going to use these tan ones, and then if I have to dig into the silvers or the golds and the greens down here, I will. I am going to be using these bits of black because I'm going to be doing little antennas, so I do want to make sure that I have that. So I have those. Let me grab some more pieces just in case I need those black ones. Okay. That's my little story about the chenille stem. I am probably, more than likely, going to be using a floral wire or more chenille stem. I haven't decided which yet. And I need my wire cutters because I don't want to glue these little hearts on, because I want to be able to remove things. I want to be able to remove the little sign that I'm going to make also. So I'm going to wire those down. So I've got my floral wire, or like I said, we can use chenille stems. So that's that. I'm going to be using my cutting mat here. So I have my rotary cutter. Now if you don't have a cutting mat and you're going to measure everything, you can use a measuring stick to measure out your pieces of mesh and then cut them with your scissors, as I did when I made the wreath last week. So if you saw that, I didn't even use this. Okay, for my paints, I'm going to need some brushes. So I have some brushes. I'm going to go get myself a little cup of water, some napkin, and some paper to work on so that I don't get my working area stained with paint. I do have my hot glue gun with glue sticks ready in case I want to use that. And that's it. So let's get to crafting. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these parts first so they can dry up well while I'm cutting my mesh, and then I can do my wreath. So I've got these two hearts here, and they're about the same size. One of them is just slightly bigger, so I'm going to take the bigger one, and that's going to be what I'm going to use as the wings for my bumblebee. And I want to paint them white. Now on one side I have it already, they're already painted, and they have a lot of glitter, so you can go ahead and just sand that off if you want, or paint right over that. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and paint both of them black. This one I'm going to actually turn it around. I'm going to use this one for his head. And I'm just going to paint one side. This other side, I feel like it's going to be hidden within the wire of the wreath when I put it on there. And of course, just this is what you're going to just barely see in the back. And then there's just going to be Deco Mesh around it. So I feel like I don't really need to do that. But if you feel like you want to, then paint both sides, or just paint the one side that's glittered, or sanded and paint it. Okay, but this one is going to be for the wings, and I feel like they're going to be sticking out some, so they're going to show up a little bit behind. And I'm going to go ahead and just paint that, but I'm going to paint it black, and then on the other side and the little edges I'm going to paint them white. So I want to start off by doing that, painting these two in black, and this one I'm going to paint it in this khaki or tan color that I have. I could paint it white, but I just don't want, too much white. I want lots of different colors in here if possible. So I'm going to go ahead and use the tan to paint that. So I'm just going to actually just pour over some paint on top of it. This one doesn't have any glitter or anything like that I have to worry about. So that's just going to be a straight on the sign. I actually feel like I have enough paint to do the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about it. A little bit of that glitter's coming through, and I don't mind it. Okay, I'm going to let this dry as well. I'm going to put it up against this little bottle, and then I'm going to come back and give it another coat on the black side. And then, like I said, this one I'm going to let it dry, and then the other side I'm going to paint it white. And then I'm just going to give this one another coat of the khaki, and they should be done. And when that's all dry, we'll come back and work on this. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and work on my Deco Mesh. Okay, so while my little parts are drying, and I've gone ahead and I've given them a second little coat, I put them aside and they're drying now, and I'm going to go ahead and start cutting my mesh. Now what I want to do is I want to put the black heart right here. That's going to be the head. And then I want to fill in with black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, all the way to this point of the heart. And then the other side here, I want to fill it in with the green mesh. And I want to do it all the way down to meet up to the point here where the yellow and the black end. And then ever so often, I want to tuck in some pink mesh and some pink ribbon. And then on the other side, I'm going to tuck in some yellow ribbon with the polka dots and the black white chevron on the other side. And of course, then I will then stick in the white heart to become the wings of my bumblebee. So I want to grab this little head, which is not completed because I do want to paint an eye on it. I want to put this about so in this particular area right here. It's going to take or encompass a little bit of this part of the heart here, so it's probably going to cover that up a little bit, and that's fine. So then right here is when I want to start, and I think I want to start with yellow and then the black and so forth, and then of course the green on the other side. So I just want to make enough of these to fill in on this side, the yellow and the black. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. And since I don't know exactly how many I need, I'm just going to cut a few, and then I'm going to start putting them on there, and then I'll be cutting them as I need them, and then that'll give me an idea of what I need for the other side to fill in with maybe just a little bit extra because I'm taking up less space on this side. Okay, so let me go ahead and get on that. I'm going to put this down over here for a little bit more to dry just a bit more. Okay, we're going to start by cutting the yellow and the black, and I think I'm going to cut 20 pieces of each. That'll give me 40, and I think that's more than enough. But just to get started, if I have leftovers, then I can use them for something else. But if I don't, then if I need more, obviously I can cut more. And I'm going to cut these at a 6-inch size. Let me see. Here's my 10, and here's my 6-inch line. I'm going to start off by just cutting this edge just a little bit, just to straighten it up a little bit. And by the way, I want to do the same with the green. So as soon as I'm done, I'll go ahead and start cutting some of that green, and I'll start cutting some of the yellow. But let me go ahead and cut at least 2 of these for now, so I can show you what I want to do. I'm just going to take these pieces, and as you can see, they kind of curl up a bit because, you know, they were rolled up in here. So we're just going to roll them up onto itself, and then right in the middle we're going to pinch and add a chenille stem. This is the same technique that I've been using for my other wreaths that I've been doing. I like it a lot, so this is why I keep using this one. You can put the chenille stems on your wire form if you want, and then curl these up and then put them on there, and then tie them up if you feel you're going to still put more into the same little bundle. But I like to make my bundles separately and then put them on my mesh form. I don't know why I like it that way, I just do. So you just do it the way that you like it best. So to some of these, I'm going to add a ribbon too. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. Again, I'm going to cut 6-inch pieces right here. I'm going to do the same with the ribbon. I'm starting at the 10-inch right here, and then I'm just going to the 16 to cut 16 or 6 inches. Actually, let me go ahead and cut 7 because I just thought of something. I'm going to cut 7 inches instead of 6, and I'll explain to you in a minute. Let me just cut this little bit off. Let's see, 7 inches. Okay, the reason that I'm doing that, and let me show you on this little piece, is because I fold them in half, and then again, And then from the fold to the end, I cut. And then I end up with these little dovetails on my ribbon, like that. And when I do that, it tends to make my ribbon look even shorter. So I did these an inch longer, so that when I do cut these little bits on them, let me move this one up a little bit, I don't make them look as short as this one. Okay, they're just a little bit longer, so that's why I'm going with 7" on these. Okay, so now that I've got them, I'm going to put that one aside. I'm going to take the black one, and then I'm going to take the black ribbon right in the middle like that, grab them together, and then just twist a couple of times. Okay, and that way I have this. Okay, now with the yellow, and then just pinch the middle here. And then just poof it up so it doesn't look, you know, all crushed in there. That one's nice and poofed. Okay, so there we go. So we want to create those as well, okay? So I'm going to do, I said I was going to do 20 pieces, so I'm going to do 10 of the black and 10 of the yellow, and half of them I'm going to put ribbon, and then I'll see if I need more and continue. And I'm going to do the same with the green. I'm going to start cutting up the green. The green, obviously I don't have a ribbon for it, so I'm just going to start cutting a bunch of that. Okay, and I'll be back when I have a bunch of little curlies, and then we can go ahead and paint an eye on our black heart and get it onto our wreath form. Alright, so I've stopped doing some of my curlies because these items here are already dry. So I want to go ahead and paint them so I can go ahead and put them aside again so that whatever I painted on them can dry and I can continue doing my little mesh curlies. So I'm going to take some thin brushes here, and I've got some paint on here. I'm running out of my white, but I'm going to make the most of it. So what I want to do is I want to draw a little eye right here for my bee head. So this is my head. This is going to be the little mouth area, if you will, of my bee, and I want to draw a little bit of a smile on it. Maybe I want to use some of this pink here. Let me get that on here. A little bit of that. Okay, so I want to draw a little bit of a smile on it. I'm just going to take a little bit and just go from that point up, and then just fill it in again. There we go. Just a little bit of a smile. Go a little bit like that. Just trying to get the paint in there so that, there we go. A little bit fuller, just like that. And I just want to do a white dot here for the eye. Let me get that brush a little cleaner. Get some of this white here. You could just put on a googly eye, you know, one of them little eyeballs that just shake around, little plastic ones. You can add one of those instead of painting it like I am. So I'm doing the white of the eye, because obviously I don't need any black around it because the whole bee is black, or the whole head is black. Okay, so I'm just trying to fill it in, but trying not to have the paint be too thick on some spots so that it can dry a little bit faster. And I do have a little fan going. I always have a little fan going because not only do I get hot, but if I'm painting, it dries things faster, or gluing. It also helps to dry things faster. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I think that's cute enough. Yeah, I'm going to now put some black inside of it. So the same brush that I used for the pink. Wait, that wasn't it, was it? No. There we go, the smaller one. I'm going to pick up some black. and do a little pupil inside of there. So I'm just going to go around. But I'm going to leave a little section of it white so that it's like the, you know, little light shining onto the eye. I actually didn't want to do the eye black. Now that I think of it, I had pulled out some green, so I'm going to just remove a little bit of the paint. I'm going to go ahead and fill in what I thought I'd fill in, because actually that's not going to be bad. Leave a little bit of the black outline in it. Why not? There we go. Let me just show you what I did, because you could do it any color you want. Here up close so you can see that. Okay, so where I did the black for the eye, I actually wanted to do green. So I'm just going to go in and add the green. And I'm going to try to fill in so that it's, so that I still have a little bit of that black outline. And it's kind of turning gray on me because it's mixing with a white. So I'm going to let that happen, and then I'll just go in and fill it in with some more of the green. Give it sort of a grayish green eye, or you could do it in blue, whatever color you want. Brown would be pretty too, of course. And I'm just going to do it in little strokes to make it look like the little pupil going inward. Get that close up so that you can see. Okay, let me look at it from my angle here, because I see a little bit there that it doesn't have to be this complicated, okay? Just draw a little dot. You can even use your fingers to draw a little dot. Okay, so now within that, I do want a little black pupil. So I'm just going to go around right like that. And then I'm going to, wherever I feel like the green came out a little bit too much, I'll put some black. There you go. So there you go. There's my little sparkly green eye for my bee. Now, I wanted to add some little lashes, but because I have black on my little face, I'm going to use a little bit of this gray. I could just use a little bit of the white and lighten up the black and make a gray, but I happen to have gray, so I went ahead and I poured that out. So I'm just going to go around the top edge of the eye and just a little bit of a little frame around it, and then from there fan out and make some little lashes just like that. Isn't she pretty? Aw, she is. Now if you wanted, you could give her some little pink cheeks. So I get some pink and mix it with a lot of white. Get it as light as you can. I'm going to remove it off my finger. Let me get the brush out of the way. I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit with my finger. Do that. And then just kind of rub it around. And just lightly rub it into her little cheek here. If you don't like it, paint over it with a black. Look at that. So I'm going to paint a little bit, just a tiny bit over it. I'll just get some black with my finger. Fix wherever I feel like I just didn't like it. Go around the edges here. And that kind of helps to even blend it even more. Oh my goodness. I'm not picking up any paint. Okay. There we go. I'm going to let that dry so that I don't smear it. I think I'm going to go under it, under the area where, you know, I did the line, the gray line. I'm just fixing this little blush. There. Okay. I'm going to go under it also and line it with that gray. Just a little bit. My brush is too dry. Let's get some more paint. If you don't like the way the blush looks, don't do it. I'm on the fence about it, to be honest with you. Well, I don't know why I can't get that. There we go. I'm just going to outline the eye just a bit because I just felt like it needed it. There we go. Around the bottom. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to let that dry. I'm happy with that. I like it. I think it looks cute. All right. So I'm going to let that dry. And now I'm going to work on my sign. And I wanted to say, be mine. So, same little thin brush. Cleaning it off. Or do I have another one? No, these were it. Okay. Let's see. What do I have over here? I have a better liner brush. I like that one better for this job. Okay. I'm going to do the word be and then mine. And then I'm going to do little dots, you know, kind of like dancing around where the bee may have flown by. And that's what I want to give it, that sort of a look. I'm not going to worry too much about my lettering. You could use a Sharpie actually for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do with my lettering, because I said I'm not going to worry too much about it, so I'm going to do little dots coming around like that, and then I'm going to do dots on my letters wherever there's like a little joint, just to give it a little bit of a whimsical look. And it just kind of fixes how not so great my letters are. Make that dot bigger. Little dot there, there. To finish off. There, just a little bit. Okay, and then we can just do some more little dots, different sizes, going off into the distance. Just like that. Okay, now what I also want to do, and I've got some of that pink still on my board, on the paper. I'm just cleaning off the brush a little bit. I'm going to take that pink and I'm going to do little hearts here and there. Little tiny hearts. Just to dress up my sign a little bit more. I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger to balance it off because I'm a little bit too much that way, and that's okay. And a little one over here. There we go. So let me show you what that looks like close up. Start right here. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry. I do notice some little spots where I kind of scratched off the paint, and I can touch that up. Otherwise, just leave it just like that. If you want to add more, you know, little dots or whatever else you want to add to the sign, make it look a little neater or nicer, go ahead and do that. I'll think about it. I was thinking about doing like an edge around it, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And then I want to go ahead and put some chenille stems on the back where I can tie it down onto my arrangement, because my wreath, because like I was saying, I kind of want to transition that same wreath into spring and summer. So I want to be able to take some of the Valentine off of it. So this will be something that I will be taking off of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to our little mesh curlies. Okay, so I'm back with my mesh curlies, and I told you that I was going to cut 10 of the black and 10 of the yellow, and then half would have the ribbon of each one, and then I was going to count this, I was going to cut the same out of the green, but of course that had no ribbon. So I've gone ahead and cut all of that, and I've created everything. But what I decided to do, instead of just 10, I decided to do 12 of each, because I'm going to do a bundle of 3 4 times on my wreath. So I decided to do 12, and then on 2 bundles, I'm going to do a bundle of 3. 2 bundles will be simple. I mean, 2 curlies will be simple, and 1 curly will have a ribbon. So that's 1 bundle. And here's another. That's 2. Here's another. That's 3, and then another right here. That's 4. So then I only needed 4 with ribbon, and I had said half, which would have been 5. But since I changed it around, so what it is, it's 8 simple ones like that, and then 4 with the ribbon. Okay, so, and I did the same exact thing with the yellow. So that's the idea with that. So keeping the same idea on the other side, if I'm going to do the same amount, instead of just cutting 12, the idea would be to cut a 24. And I want 4 of them, or probably 8. I might make more. I want to make 4 for now. I want to have ribbon, and I'm going to keep those aside. So anyway, out of the 24, I decided to do only 16 in the green, and they're all just plain. So 16, and then 4 of these I'm doing right now. I'm going to do another 4. I'm actually double bundling them, or double curling them. And let me show you how this little curly bundle is. You're going to take 2 of the pink, and then a pink ribbon, and you're going to curl it up, and curl it up, put them together, and then you're going to take your ribbon right in the middle, and then just pinch that again with your little chenille a couple of times, and that is a little bundle, a double bundle right here, a little with a mesh. So I'm going to make 8 of them, and I've only got 4 here, so I'm going to make 4 more of these, because I want these to be the flowers within the green. So you kind of get the idea right there, okay? So just need to make 4 more of those. But I want to go ahead and get this, let's push these over a little bit. I want to go ahead and get this face on my heart wreath. Now keep in mind that I'm using this little heart wreath when I do this. So when you do a round mesh form, I mean a metal form, you're probably going to need to cut more of these curlies to fill in. So just keep that in mind, okay? So I'm going to put this little head right about here, but I don't just want to glue it onto the wire. I actually want to tie it down. So somewhere in the back, actually I wanted it a little bit more forward here. So right around here is a wire, which right about where that little mouth is, right there. I'm going to take a chenille stem, bend it in half, put some glue on there, and stick that on there. Let me put this backwards so we can see what we're doing. And I wanted this little tip right on that line right here. This one right here on this, coming across it. So I wanted it right there. So obviously this is going to hang on. Let's go ahead and just build it while we're here, right? I want it facing that way, like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tie it down. You could actually trim the chenille stem while you're here, but I'm just bending it down. And what I'll do is I'll just put more glue wherever it's touching more of the wire, just to make sure that it's sticking. And then over here I'm going to put another one, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue right there. Run that chenille stem underneath. Okay. Let's slide it over. I want this to be kind of like that. Okay. All right. Now we can tie this right there where the glue is. You probably want to wait till it dries. And then I just squish down all the chenille. And I'm just going to put more glue over on top of it to make sure that it doesn't come off. So then we're just going to let that dry, and then we'll be back, turn it around, so we can start putting the black and the yellow mesh on the B side of our wreath. Okay, let's start adding our bundles of black and yellow so that we can start making our little bumblebee. So I'm going to go ahead and, I think I was going to start off with black, but I'm going to go ahead and start with yellow because I actually want to end with black because that's the, you know, the little pointy little stinger of the bee. I don't know why I keep grabbing the black. My goodness. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the 3 rows that this little heart has. Now, if you had a round one which has 4 rows, you can pick any of those rows to start with. And like I said, you're going to have to cut extra. So instead of doing bundles of 3, you might have to do bundles of 4. And then maybe 2 within the bundle can have ribbon and the other 2 do not. So that's your decision, how you decide that. Okay, so on the most inner one, I'm going to put a plain one. And then just tie it up like that in the back. And then fold in the little mesh or the little chenille because I don't want that poking anything. And then in the middle one, I'm going to go with a ribboned one. And again, I'm just going to twist it on. And then bend in the little chenille ends. And then on the outer ring, I'm going to use a plain one. And then just fold that down. Okay. So as you can see, that looks really pretty against the little head of the bee. Nice and full. So I'm just going to push them in to make sure that they are, let me twist these around so that I don't have a little mesh bit. I'm just going to push them into that little, see how there's a little heart here? I'm just going to push one of those into there to make sure that, that it's as close to the little heart, wooden heart, as possible. Okay, so now I'm just going to work with the black, but this time instead of putting a plain one on the end, I'm going to use the ribbon one. So I'm going to do, as I'm working along, I'm going to be moving the ribbon. It's either going to be on the inside, in the middle, or on the outside edge. So now that I'm going to start it on the inside edge and then do 2 plain ones, when I do the yellow one, this time it's going to be on the very outer edge. Get it? And then when I start again with the black, I'm going to start like I did here in the middle and so forth. You do it however you want. If that's a little too complicated for you, then, you know, just do however you want to do it. So let me go ahead and add the black so that you can see how that's starting to look. And then I'll just finish it off camera. Because I think you get the idea. And I want them tight. That's why I had said I'm cutting a certain amount, but I may end up having to cut more because I want it to be really nice and full. And I've got these nice rolls of mesh that have 10 yards, so I've got plenty to work with. So now I'm going to do 2 plain ones and then the ribbon one. And that's just to get the ribbon to move around so it doesn't look like it's all just in the middle. And then I don't have to put on as much because it's variegated as I go along. Okay. Get that on there. And then one with a ribbon. Right here. I think it works better if I turn it around. Just make sure you're not squishing it down as you're working on it. Because then you'll flatten out your little curls. I think that's looking really pretty. Look at that. And you can see the distinct line of black and then the yellow. There we go, like that. Okay, push them together. And then you don't see the chenille. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue filling it in. Like I said, alternating the ribbon. Next I'm going to work with black, yellow, and so forth. And then I'll do the other side and fill it in with a green. Now they're all plain, so I'm just going to do, again, I'm going to alternate it with these. But first I'm going to put in the green and then I'll be back so that you can see how I do that. I don't want to complicate it too much. Alright everyone, I'm almost completely done with my wreath. I've gone ahead and I put that Be Mine sign also on my wreath, and I've gone ahead and I put it across, and I did it the same way that I did the head, where it says that I aligned it, and then I put the little 2 chenille stems where I was going to tie them down, and then I also put lots of glue. So let me turn this around so you can see how this is looking. It's looking really cute. Now, I had given you a count of 12 black and 12 yellow, and that was alternating. So I finished right here with black, so I ended up cutting more yellow and more black. And the yellow I only cut another 3, actually 4. Yeah, I did cut 4, and then that means I ended up with 16 of the yellow. And the black I actually ended up cutting 7 extra, which gives me a total of 19. And then the extras, because I wanted this little tippy bit down here to be really full, where the little point, you know, the little stinger of the bee would be. And then I can just move things around a little bit so that you can kind of see the sign in there. There we go. Okay, but also right on the side of the sign here, I want something here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with another black and another blue, and another yellow. That's where the little extras that I also ended up cutting also. I already gave you that count. I'll put it in the description box below if you're interested in making the heart shape, so you'll know how many I used. Let's see. The black should be right next to the yellow, right over here. Just going to tie right there. And then the yellow, do a little quick little curl. And then right here. Just so that a little bit of that comes out behind the sign on the side. There we go. Right here. And then on this side, I'm going to cut a little bit more green as well, just to put maybe just one extra one there on that side. 6 inches. Let me just cut 1. So that's actually going to make it 25 green. So let me make myself a little note so that I can write that in the description box below. Now again, if you're making a round wreath, you're probably going to need to cut more. You know what? I think I need one more. One more back here. I'm not going to worry about the head because I want the head to be really, really seen. So I'm not going to put any coming out from behind that. Okay, that makes it 26 actually of the green now. Just to fill in this side, and again I'm curling the little ends. Okay, and then just make sure you push everything so that you don't have anything in the back. We don't need anything in the back. Okay. There we go. Turn it around. As you can see, our little bee is nice and full. And let me explain on the what I did with the green. I did the same thing. I kind of followed the same idea where I was going to put a row and then I was going to alternate the one that had the ribbon, you know, whether it was going to be on the inside or the middle or on the edge. That's basically what I did over here. I did a row of green, all green solid, and then the next row I added a flower and then green and so forth. And then between each, whenever I placed the flower, I did 2 rows of green. Okay, 2 rows of green and then a row of green and pink. 2 rows of green and then a row of green and pink and so forth. So I ended up using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers. Remember I made 8. So I'm going to grab 1 extra one and I'm going to go behind here where these green ones that I actually added. I'm going to put that in there and fill that in with another mesh flower, because that's what I'm calling it. Those are my flowers, just because I felt like there was a lot here, not quite over here. Okay, so just poof them up so that you can see them well and you can see the little ribbons nicely. We're trying not to hide the face too much over here. I'm not going to put any behind the head here. Instead, what I'm going to do, I had these 2 pieces of black chenille, or if you have one long one, just cut it in half and then just take a pencil and curl it around like that. Okay, so then you can pull it off and you'll have like a little antenna like that. You don't have to do it as tight as that, you can do it less. Okay, do another one. And then just pull it off. And just pull it apart a little bit. Kind of loosen it up a little bit. And there we go. Now from the back of the top of the head, I will glue these. So plenty of glue there. Put one there. Put another right there next to it. And just hold them and let them dry well. Okay, and then once that's dry, we'll turn it around and then we're going to add the wings, and I have some little hearts, and I'm going to make a little ribbon out of this. I like this one with the little arrows. So I'm just going to make a little bow. A tiny little piece of chenille on it. Trim that off. And I'm going to put this on the sign. Okay. I think that's good enough. I'm going to go ahead and turn it around on my little antennas. Fold them forward. And then upward. So you just fold them forward and then upward like that. Making sure they're still, yeah. There we go. Look at the little antenna on the head. That is so cute. Okay, over here where it says Be Mine, I'm going to stick a little bow that I just made. Put some glue on that. I'm going to put that way over here on the little end here. Make sure those little... There we go. And remember I had these little pink hearts? Now I was first planning on putting some floral wire into them and then tying them down. But you know what? My hands are really scratched up. And I don't mind later going and then just pulling off this sign. And then you know where I put these two? The row, the one yellow and the one black. I'll just go ahead and fill it in with more of those rows in there. And then over here where I remove this sign, and obviously there's some glue back there. You don't have to glue it down if you're going to take it off. Then I will just fill it in with some more of the green and maybe the extra flower that I have. So that'll serve for spring and summer. So now these little hearts, like I said, you don't have to put them on, but if you do want to put them on, put a wire in there and then just tie them in there. Okay, and how would you do that? Just get enough wire. I would say about, let's see, to make sure that it goes in there, I want at least 8 inches of wire. Okay, so when I remove the little sticks and the little hearts, it has a little hole in there already. So I'm just going to bend the wire in half. And I'm going to push that into that little hole. But first I'm going to squeeze some glue in there. Get that in there. And you're going to let that dry. And now you're going to have the little wires sticking out from the bottom. And then you can reach in there and tie them down. Okay? But like I said, I am just so tired. My hands are so scratched up from the chenille. I'm just going to put little dots of glue on the bottom portion because they're inexpensive little hearts. And then I'm just going to stick them way in there. And of course, I can just pull them off because it doesn't have that much glue on them. Let's see, put another one over here. One more. One right in here somewhere. Okay, I think that's good enough. I have still some this thin ribbon that I have left over, and I want to put some ribbon on it so that I can hang it. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to take the ribbon. Let me get this little tip cut off. Okay, I'm going to bring it around the heart. Just tie it. Actually, I'm going to make a little knot. And then you can also replace this ribbon because the one that I'm using has little Valentine hearts on it. So just replace it with, you know, a little burlap or a little hemp rope or another ribbon that you like. Pretty yellow ribbon or anything that'll match what you're doing. If you don't want to do pink flowers, you can do red flowers or even blue ones. Why not? Or purple. Okay, so now I've got something to hang my wreath with. So let's take a really good look at the wreath and I shall be back. All right, everyone, here is my finished Bumblebee wreath, my Valentine Bumblebee wreath. I want to thank again to Jessica Rueda for the inspiration of doing a Bumblebee yellow and black decoration for Valentine's Day. As I said, this can easily be transformed into a spring and summer. I just remove the bee mine and just remove the little hearts. I'll just change the ribbon and add a little bit more mesh to fill in the little spots where it is now bare after removing the little sign. Okay, that's it, everyone. That's it. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. Please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified of when I upload my videos. Like I said, every Tuesday and every Friday. Make sure you leave a nice comment down below, and don't forget to share on your social medias. And as always, enjoy. And oh goodness, I forgot to put the wings on my bee, so I'm just putting lots of glue on the little tippy here of the heart on the back. Okay, now we're gonna turn that around, come over here, and I want to put them right about in there. So I'm just gonna feel in. I'll be right back and show you how that looks. All right, I've glued the heart right in there. I've tucked him in, and he is glued to the bottom pieces of mesh right under there. Okay, so there is the wings on the wreath.